They got some bikes, they're gonna ride through all the countryside, and they'll do it side by side. Kenneth and Allie, they're gonna rally through all the peaks and valleys. Shout out to Rand McNally. We're the West Coast ready to greet them in search of the end of the weekend. Well, it's a trans-American ride.
That's not many days at all.
Day 16.
Day 16.
Trying to figure out a good place to put this. That's probably good. Yeah. Happy Father's Day.
Yeah.
Sunday, June 21st, which I guess is also the solstice, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's 10 in the morning. We're at the, what's this, the Knights Inn?
Knights Inn. Still
Yeah.
in Berea.
Still in Berea. I mean, we recorded last night on our way to the Mexican restaurant for a second go. It was definitely a rager. We went to bed pretty late. Like, I think it was about 12:15 last time I looked at the clock. I don't know if you want to comment about anything that
I
happened.
threw up because I can't handle alcohol well. It's not my ideal substance. But like I don't feel bad. It's just I was just getting the poison out.
Yeah.
So it was fine.
It was fine.
I slept great. Crazy dreams. Yeah, it was a really comfy night.
Yeah, nice to be in semi-air conditioned room and have clean sheets and clean bodies. We woke up pretty early considering everything, like 8:15 or so. Slowly got things together. Had some coffee and tea, which Allie promptly threw up again.
Don't drink tea on an empty stomach.
Yeah, I should
That's
have
a
told
life
you that.
lesson that I just learned.
Yeah, it can be harsh. It's a different kind of nausea too. It
Yeah.
feels like it makes your stomach kind of go into contractions a little bit.
Yeah.
I remember I gave up coffee for Lent one year, and so I was trying to drink tea instead. And I was driving to college from my parents' house, and I honestly thought I was going to have to pull over the car and throw up because it was the contractions were so violent.
Yeah.
So
That's probably a similar feeling to when I get cramps. I remember several occasions driving and just being like, I'm gonna throw up or like shit myself. I need to do something right now.
yeah,
It's so bad.
yeah. Typically eating something helps, but
All that to say,
Yeah.
I feel fine. I'm eating leftover Mexican food, which is not the most appetizing thing.
yeah,
But, like,
pretty rich.
I feel good now, rehydrated. Definitely don't want to stay here in Berea.
No.
Get out of Kentucky as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But
And so, looking at options today, we could do another 50-miler into a town that it looks like it's about the same size as this one. If the amenities are any indication, they have like a library and stuff, and a park, a state park inside the city. So that would be a good spot. 50 miles wouldn't be too hard. And if we wait a bit to leave until maybe it cools down a bit, which wouldn't be for the next 5 or 6 hours,
it's not too hot right now. But the sun's still coming up, so
yeah.
I ate a lot of this,
Yeah, it's good.
but I'm done.
Are you? Completely? Yeah. So, yeah,
So,
good
yeah.
morning, good day, good night.
We have an hour until checkout, and we might
That's nice.
walk down to Walmart and resupply. And then, I don't know. I feel like I'm ready to go.
Yeah. We can take it slow.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
But it was a really fun night.
Yeah. It's a rare skill to be able to get as drunk as we were in a dry county. But, yeah.
Did we mention those other dudes last night?
I think we did, but not very much.
Oh.
I think it wouldn't be bad to go over that whole thing again.
Well, we met 3 other cyclists biking the Trans Am at the tavern
Yeah.
last night. And they were cool. 3 old dudes.
Didn't talk to them for too long.
No.
We talked to that older couple longer, I think. But those guys might have just been getting in.
It seemed like it.
So they had lots of drinking to do, I'm sure, themselves.
But it was cool. That's like numbers 3, 4, and 5 of Trans Am cyclists that we've met, which is cool. I didn't think there would be any sort of community, which there isn't really when you're out on the road, but
Right.
sometimes you happen to catch each other in towns and stuff, and it's been fun.
Yeah. Athena's supposed to be rolling through here today. I haven't talked with her, so I'm not really sure how far away she might have started this morning. But, yeah. I think, didn't those old guys say that her setup was, like, really heavy?
Yeah. Well, didn't she say that, too? She's, like, at around 100 pounds.
I think so. Yeah.
But there should be no judgment out here. Like, pack what you want, do the miles you want. I'm still learning that for myself. I was just talking about that this morning. I think I'm a pretty prideful person when it comes to athletic endeavors because I'm not a stellar athlete, but I know I can push myself and do hard things, and doing the trail in 4 months was like really a point of pride for me. And so I'm relearning that, I'm unlearning that on this trip, and just be like, do what's good for your body, take care of yourself, and really enjoy it, because like these are the memories we're gonna look back on, and they've already been so great. We're only on day 15.
Yeah.
So
And look at someone like Franco.
Oh my God.
How sad he must be to be done already. I mean, it's insane what he did. I mean, he probably could have, I don't know if he could have broken the Trans Am record, but he definitely had the mental and physical ability to try.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was still chilling really hard too.
I can't imagine what kind of miles he would have been doing if he was in the actual race, because he had registered for the race this year, but because of COVID it was canceled, so he just did his own thing. But yeah, that's not us, and that's okay, and it's good and fun this way, and I like it.
Yeah, man, we're having it's our own version of this experience for sure.
Yeah.
Everyone can't have the same experience doing this. It's great.
Yeah.
You don't want any more of that?
Nah.
You don't want to save it for later, maybe?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, probably go to Walmart, and then
Maybe we should just hang out until we have to leave before we go to Walmart.
and then bike down.
Yeah. Might be a waste of time to go down there because that could kill that whole hour that we
That's
have.
true. Yeah.
If you want to relax and continue to prep yourself.
I feel fine.
Well, 50 miles then today.
Yeah.
Prove it. Wow, it's just a cheesy mess.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
any closing thoughts?
nope.
Cool.
Can't wait to get out of Kentucky.
I do want to say, just out of interest sake, we're at an intersection for Interstate 75, and if we jumped on that, we could go all the way back to Atlanta right now.
It's bail. Rent a car, drive back to Atlanta where there's no place for us to live except your parents' house.
Yeah, no Chep, no house. Yeah.
There's nothing left for us in Atlanta.
No,
There's
it would
no
be terrible.
reason.
It'd be a terrible time to go back, too. Apparently
Yeah.
everyone's an activist now. So we'd probably have to, join or die. But yeah, just interesting. This is, I guess, seeing a sign for 75 makes me feel closer. Even though we're farther in the trip, makes me feel closer to home than when we started in Yorktown.
Yeah, like it's
So it's
proof
kind of-
that we're still on the East Coast.
Yeah. I thought we were making good, and we are, because
We
we're
are.
almost at 800 miles.
Yep.
Should be by the end of the day. And I'd say our average is probably about 50 miles a day. I think we do about 100 miles every 2 days, which again, on the AT, that would be a pretty strong week.
Yeah.
So it's pretty sweet to still be making that kind of gargantuan progress, but also having fun.
Lots of fun.
All right.
All right.
Well, I'm going to keep stuffing my face.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye. All right. Coming to you from Herodsburg. I didn't know it was Herod, like King Herod, like Jesus.
Oh,
like,
I thought it was like Harrisburg.
I thought it was too.
Like PA.
But
Huh.
it was Harod.
Oh, cool.
So we're at this great little pavilion in Dean something Park. Anderson Dean Park. It's a godsend because the weather is
Dude,
terrible.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we had some really strong winds and rain about, I don't know, an hour ago, maybe 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, and I think there's like a severe weather warning siren or something. It's went off twice already.
Mhm.
It's gone off, went off.
Gone off. But yeah, we're pretty happy with where we're at.
Dude, today was a trip.
It was a crazy day. Yeah,
So crazy.
started in Berea after a crazy drunken night. Woke up around 8 o'clock. Just started kind of getting ready. Got coffee,
Yeah.
got tea. Threw up again.
I did.
I think we might have mentioned that. 'Cause I may not
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fine though.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big deal.
It was a hard day yesterday, and it wasn't good to start with tea this morning. But I'm going to take a bite of macaroni and cheese.
It's really good.
Sharon's Kitchen Corner. We had MREs, which are meals ready to eat, that they eat
From
in
the
the
army.
military. Yeah. They were all right. Reduced sodium. And we'll get to who gave us those in just a little bit. But yeah, currently eating some macaroni and cheese as a supplement.
So we left Berea. We did a lot. We didn't end up checking out of the hotel until 11.
Yeah.
Which was checkout time.
Yeah.
And then we rolled down to the Walmart, did a small resupply, hung out there for like a half hour probably.
Probably.
I had a protein naked juice, which made me feel so good, and some hard-boiled eggs for protein,
Which were all right.
which were bad. And then we went to a gas station for a last pee and water break, and then left. And the first 20 miles was really nice.
Yeah, pretty
really
easy.
Flat, and we like went into the farmlands. I feel like it was really cool leaving the city.
Pretty gentle rolling hills, a few steep climbs, but nothing too bad. No mountains for sure. And then we started to see a storm approaching.
Dude, oh my god. Just like a wall of darkness.
And I kept kind of looking back at you and like gritting my teeth a little bit, and just being like, "Fook,
Yeah.
this looks really bad."
Yeah. And we could tell it was coming towards us because the winds were blowing north, and we've been like very invested in this storm. So
Yeah.
we think it's coming from the Gulf.
It seems like it.
And the winds were blowing north, and it was coming right at our left side because we're going west, and we could just every single turn you'd be like, oh, there it is, and then oh, it's gone, it's sunny again, and then it's coming back. It was insane, like a huge storm cell you could just see coming on the horizon.
And we got to a church because we had talked about this. We were like, well, if we get to a point and it's like a good place to stay, we should probably stay there, even if it's a little early with the storm coming across us.
Yeah. And so we were there trying to get service. I don't think I had service there. Like trying to find maybe a gas station or something a little further up the road.
Yeah.
Because there was no one at the church, and they just had a little pavilion, so we just would have sat there and ate snacks, which would have been fine.
Yeah.
But we saw that 3 miles ahead there was a point of interest on the... It was like supposed to be a grocery store or something.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. And so we headed for that because we both agreed we could probably make it. And if the terrain
Yeah.
had been a bit more like it was previous
Dude,
to that
we should have
moment.
looked at the elevation.
I did. And I was like,
I
well,
didn't.
it's a little hilly, but I don't know how hilly it's actually going to be. But Allie was like, I think we've got about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And 3.6 miles in 10 minutes is pretty Herculean effort. That'd be sprinting pretty much.
Yeah, I didn't know the hills were there because we started with a great downhill. We were going
Yeah.
like 30 miles an hour. I was like, hell yeah, we're totally gonna do this. And then we got to the bottom of the hill, crossed the river, and we had to go up the other side.
There were like 3 climbs between where we
And
were at that
then
church.
It just let loose.
Yeah, like right, I don't even know, maybe,
Probably only like a mile in.
yeah, yeah. And so That was our first real rain exposure while biking.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
I don't think there was too much lightning and thunder, but yeah, it was crazy.
And so we got to the grocery store right as the storm ended, and it was
Yep.
it was perfectly dry, and the sun came back out for a minute. And so we hung out at this grocery store for a while. You were pretty hungry, I think, and I ate like a ton of peanut butter and jellies, like 3. And so we're hanging out there, and then a guy comes by, Daniel.
Yeah.
He starts talking to us about the weather, and continue. What?
Yeah, so he was nice. He just seemed like he just seemed like another normal person on the trip, like wondering how far we're going, where we came from, what our mileage is like, what our plan for the day was, because he'd been watching the forecast for a while, and he was like, yeah, this one's passed, but man, 6 p.m. we're gonna get hit again, and I really hope you guys are gonna be in a good sheltered area. And we're like, yeah, we're planning on it. Meanwhile, we could see another storm approaching, just like crazy dark cumulonimbus clouds collecting above us, and we talked for a while. It started raining a little, and he ended up inviting us to his house to like look at the radar on his TV
And get out of the rain that had come since we stopped.
And I think you were a little skeptical at first because you wanted to keep going and push through.
I had just eaten a bunch. I had eaten like 600 calories of peanut butter and jelly, and so I was spurning his advances for us to come back to his house.
But I felt like the storm we just went through, that was like round 2, so I was like, why not? So we went up to his house. It was literally right up the road, right across from the store.
Yeah, super close.
Put our bikes on his porch.
Had a beer.
Yeah, he offered us beer.
Water.
We each had a beer. He filled up our waters, and we looked at the radar, and we're like, yep, we're gonna be fucked. Oh well.
A little bit of devil's cabbage.
Yeah, he rolled a joint for us, and we just like chilled for a little bit, and he was so great. He said his nickname was Doodle.
Yeah, so shout out to Doodle.
We love Doodle. I loved Doodle.
Yeah.
You were amped to keep going.
Yeah, I was.
But I really enjoyed that, and he was such a great guy.
Yeah, it ended up being a very good thing. We just ate his MREs that he gave us. I mean, he was a very gracious host.
Yeah, I felt like he just wanted to keep giving and giving.
Yeah.
Which was so nice.
Yeah, he gave us
I feel
everything.
like we could have stayed there. Maybe not there, but he was also a member of the local fire department, and he had said how he's seen cyclists there before, and he like ran into town to get them chicken and beer and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think he would have been more than willing to do that for us.
Do you think his wife was in bed?
Yeah, I don't know. He said she was home.
Yeah.
We didn't see her at all.
The house was very dark and like
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
a little dingy. But yeah, it was great. It was about maybe 20 miles from that intersection where his house was to where we are now. Actually, probably more 23.
I think it was 27.
27 sounds
when we
about
were
right.
there. Yeah. Don't round down.
So we pushed really hard after we left, and we got rained on for like the first 30 minutes or so.
But we were in these really, really pretty roads today.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is like redeeming Kentucky, for me at least. We were in this one part earlier on in the first 20 miles stretch, and it was like a green tunnel, 1-lane farm road, and it was like a roller coaster up and down. You didn't even have to pedal because of your momentum.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is magical. This is so pretty.
Good biking,
Nice
for sure.
shade.
Yeah.
So we had a little bit more of that, and then got back on the main roads.
And as soon as we got on the main road, it completely stopped raining.
The sun came out.
Yeah.
It got hot again.
It got hot again.
Yeah.
For like another 10 miles maybe. Mm-hmm. And got to a point where I needed to pee, and we stopped for a bit, and it was hot, and the sun was out. We were right at a bridge going over a lake. I don't remember.
I was actually at a marina.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
A huge lake, apparently. I don't know what lake it was.
I forget. But we got over it pretty quickly and kept heading on. And we were about 10 miles away from where we are, well, probably 13, from where we are now. and we saw the storm, the
We
second
saw
storm.
another dark wall
Yeah.
coming from the south.
And it was what he had showed us on the radar at his house, and we're just
And
like,
he said
fuck.
he kept saying 6 p.m., 6 p.m.
And it was like
Make sure you're
5:30.
covered.
Yeah. So we were. I felt pretty good. I think you were starting to get pretty hungry and kind of low energy.
Yeah, my legs were burning because I could tell that I didn't eat enough after his house. I
Yeah.
had a pretty big snack there, but didn't really eat much after that, and no like stomach problems at all. But I could just feel my muscles burning,
Yeah.
the energy that they had stored up, and then there was none left. So it was fine.
We went through a little town called Bergen, which is about 5 miles outside of Harrodsburg. And I was looking around and I was like, we could stop here in my mind.
Yeah, I
was
thought
like,
that too.
There were a few spots that were like decent and we could probably make the night through.
Yeah,
Because the storm was quickly approaching.
but we were only like 7 miles away.
We were
at
only
that
5
point.
miles
5
away.
miles,
Yeah.
yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah, but we still needed to fill up water, get beer.
And find a decent camp spot.
Yeah, so I had found this little community center area on my map, and we headed there first, and it was sort of basically just a field for a high school, and there were no pavilions or anything like that would
And
help
by that
us.
time, it was sprinkling.
It was sprinkling.
And we were like, we need to
We know what's
figure out a
coming.
plan right now.
Yeah.
So we started biking away, and there was a couple that was unlocking the building. I guess they worked there or something at the community center.
Yeah.
And I was like, we should ask them.
Yeah.
And I told you, I was like, we should ask them. Like, I just had this feeling.
And my initial feeling was like, no, we shouldn't. We should just go.
Because our other plan was to go to like this, is it a national site or something?
It's a state park.
Historic, state park.
It's a
replica.
a replica of like a 19.
It's probably like
18.
Daniel Boone's house or something.
Yeah, it's some sort
I
of
don't know.
like weird fort that used to be here in the Revolutionary or Civil War time. And that was the next place that we were going to go if we hadn't gotten any other advice, but
But you went in and talked to those people,
on your advice.
and I was hoping that they would be like, "Oh, just come on in." It was a community center, and
It was
I'm sure
a-
they had water and bathrooms in there. I was
Yeah.
like, "This is gonna work." But did you even ask them?
No. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't ask them if we could stay there because I figured me
I don't
going in there
remember this.
and asking them if there was anywhere else we could go would be enough of a nudge, for
Yeah.
them to be like, oh, well, you can just stay here. We just opened it up.
Right.
Because we've stayed at a fire station, obviously, in Kent Store, and when we were at that intersection today where we met Daniel, he was saying that he could open the fire station for us. And they didn't offer it, but they did mention the park where we're at now, which is called
You just
Dean
said it.
Anderson or
Yeah.
something like that. Anderson Dean. The sky actually looks all right now.
Yeah.
And so it was like 2.9 miles from where we were, which, it was starting to sprinkle and the sky was looking ominous.
Yeah.
And so we kind of sprinted from there down this main street to this road called 127, where we found a gas station, which we'll probably go to tomorrow for breakfast. And we filled up water. I bought a few beers for us. And then we sprinted all the way down the road till we got to this park. And they have multiple shelters with electricity, and there are bathrooms technically, but we can't get into them because of COVID. And we got here right as the storm really turned ugly.
Oh yeah.
It was windy, it was rainy, it was just dumping buckets down.
Crazy thunder and lightning too.
Yeah.
So loud.
Like you said too, the storm warnings kept going off at the shelter. It'd be great if one went off right now so you could hear it. It was very disturbing and hard to ignore.
Yeah.
But
We're dry. We made it. And most of my stuff stayed dry today.
I think all my stuff did
Even
too.
in the rain we were in, so
It
that was
was-
a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, it wasn't as hard as the rain that was when we got here, that we rode through today.
Dude, no.
But
I'm so glad it wasn't either.
today, I think things got real because we've had like a 2-week spell of not having any rain that was really consequential at all. We had sprinklings and we had wet roads from previous rains, but generally speaking, we've had like 15 days of good weather. And so it was just interesting to finally get stuck in bad weather and not be able to avoid it until we got here. And this is such a blessing. We're at the Hitachi shelter number 2 or something in this little park. We're tucked way back from the main road. No one's ever going to know that we were here.
Except for the drug dealers in the parking lot.
and the cameras that are over in the corner. But, I mean, it's just a perfect spot. I really am digging these community centers / parks
Yeah.
and the pavilions that they provide. It's an institution that's pretty important at this point in our lives.
Yeah. And even when we were riding through the rain, it didn't suck, because when we left Berea, it was hot, it was exposed, and I was like, man, I'm about to get dehydrated again today.
Yeah.
But then the rain came. I swear it dropped like 15 degrees or something. It was so cool.
At least, yeah.
And we didn't do laundry in Berea, so I was like, this is nature washing our clothes for us.
Yeah.
It was a treat.
Yeah, it was as good as it could have been. I need to message, what's her name, Athena, to see if she got to Berea today with all this shit coming through.
Yeah.
And we got here. I had my first chain suck experience where I shifted from my big ring to my little ring on my front derailleur, and my chain got all caught up on my frame and everything. So the rain really affected the drivetrains of our bikes for sure, mine anyway. And so when we got here, we had some napkins that were in the MREs that we ate. No. And so I was able to lube up the chains and everything, clean the jockey wheels, which will definitely pay dividends as we move farther and farther west. There was supposed to be a bike shop in Berea, but it was like 15 miles away.
It's back.
It's ridiculous. That is the same dude.
It's the same guy.
Yeah, these drug dealers, they keep coming. But we have our tent set up. We're all unloaded. We have a new episode of Let's Track Together to watch tonight, which is I'm very stoked about. Eating some macaroni and cheese. I mean, what else is there?
Dude, it's the same guys.
Yeah, there's some meth going on here. Or weed or something. Hey, do you guys have any extra?
I have cash. But yeah, it was a really great day.
It was very different.
Yeah. It felt like 4 days, too.
It did.
The
Yeah.
fact that we left Berea this morning is so crazy.
Yeah, every time it rained, it seemed like a different sort of time period. And I enjoyed it a lot. Like you said, I was kind of anxious to go out and just get in it because, you know, my shoes, my socks haven't been wet this whole time. And that was sort of a hallmark of the AT, putting on wet shoes and wet socks. So I'm excited tomorrow to do that. And we're just, man, we have a perfect camp spot. It's everything is just great. And it actually looks like it's moving on, like the rain.
Yeah. Something that I mentioned to you today when we saw the first storm approaching, I was like, man, I mean, I know we're still in Kentucky right now, but we're going to be in Kansas soon, and I kind of want to research, like, tornado etiquette.
Yeah.
Because what if we're, like, 50 miles away from civilization, just in these fields and fields of nothing? No, like, mountains or anything or trees to deflect lightning or winds. Like, I feel like that's something that we should be aware and informed. Because, like, I've done research on grizzlies and stuff, and I know what to do for that, and I know what to do, unfortunately not for any bike stuff. I don't know what to do if my bike breaks or if I fall off.
I do.
But you do. But yeah, it feels like we're at the mercy of nature right now.
Which is good. I like that.
Yeah. It makes it more hardcore too. Like, and the fact that we're not going to hotels every night. And we're just, like, finding shelter where we can. We feel like explorers. That's really fun.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, going out west and finding what there is to find.
Yeah.
And hopefully tomorrow will be an even easier day if the hills keep kind of diminishing like they have.
That's what that lady at the tavern said.
Yeah, and we know that she knows that she's right. But yeah, looks like the storm is pushing on. I don't know if it's going to keep coming through. We should probably look at the weather just to see, like, as the night progresses. We moved a bunch of picnic tables around our tent, and I'll get a picture of it, probably be the picture for this episode.
To make a barrier in case the winds pick up again.
Yeah, totally. So,
But yeah, it's great.
It is great. Yeah, it's been steadily raining for probably an hour and a half. It's not too hard right now, but who knows what else is coming tonight.
And tomorrow morning,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, we will.
You're full?
Yeah, I'm full.
Me too.
Yeah, I ate a lot of food, and I wasn't even really all that hungry. But anyway, we'll leave it there for now,
Yeah.
and get back to you tomorrow.
Till
Bye.
then, let's
Yep.
bike together.
Let's bike together.